going on, Mike? Glad you could make it here this morning.
Like
some traffic, did you?
Yeah, Mick, let's get a little juice to start the Monday morning.
I don't have much juice, Colin. No, Colin, I don't have juice. You want to know why? I don't have juice because I had to kickstart my day by walking my good little Wesley Pooh up and down the street as he shit his goddamn brains out because you know what? You know what he did? He ate the entire chicken pot pie last night before it even went into the oven.
That's awesome.
He didn't take one look. He didn't take two looks. He took the entire goddamn chicken pot pie.
Did he give it an 8.6?
Slathered it up with some nice egg whites. You put that puppy in. I mean, talk about an absolute gem gone wasted. You should have seen the look on my son's eyes when he came down to the kitchen and I showed him the pot pie that my dog just devoured. We were heartbroken. We were heartbroken.
What did you give it? What was the rating on it?
8.6.
It was in the nines. It was in the nines.
I'll tell you what.
It's a classic chicken pot pie that we've been making for years and years. It's my shout out to my cousin Kelly, OG Kelly, who just dropped a heater at the Reading Terminal, little DeNix action over the weekend to soak up her wedding hangover. We've been using that recipe for, I don't know how long. And it's just, dude, it's one of those just unbelievable. Are you a chicken pot pie fan?
Who is it?
I'll eat it.
Wow. I mean,
yo, what, Mike?
I don't remember the last time I had a chicken pot pie, but I mean, if it's there and
chicken pot pie or shepherd's pie, what's your go-to?
Chicken.
Chicken pot pie. Now we were at a place down here called Josie Kelly's, a little Irish joint, and their whole menu is all. So my girlfriend gets the chicken pot pie. Like we were just there for the Phillies last week watching the game there, so she just had chicken pot pie, but I didn't get it, but I'm okay with it. It's not in our kitchen rotation. We'd have to buy it somewhere.
Yeah, same with us. That's Mackenzie. It must be a Mackenzie Sunday thing.
Come on. It's a beautiful Sunday Sunday comfort food type of meal. We had to revert to the pasta. What are you going to do? I'm
more like, exactly. Last night, Sydney was at a bachelorette party. I was down at the Florida Georgia game. So we come on Sunday. I'm like, no way we're cooking. Yeah. So we ordered, carpaccios down the street. The best.
Yeah. So we're off to a flipping hot start here. Welcome back to the weekend shakedown, Samboners.
I was at I did Eagles at the house yesterday and then went up to the Sixers game last night.
Oh, you take a nap too while you're there? What?
Say what? You're breaking up on me.
I'm not a big NBA
fan. Colin, your connection absolutely stinks. But Mike, talk to us about the scene at the Sixers game. I heard the tickets were going for like $6 a pop.
This is an interesting year because this building, they've been like number one in attendance. They've been selling out for like maybe the last, since about 15, 16, right around where Simmons and Embiid played the first year together. They've really been the hottest ticket in town, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I would say the buzz last night was muted. Building was, I would say, full, but didn't have the same vibe that normal. I go to a lot of Sixers games. Big bed. I wouldn't say it was a sellout. I had two seats open next to me, a row of five in front of me, and I had pretty good seats last night. So,
Sunday's a tough draw too. I mean, you got NFL football.
It is, but it's the home opener. And then there was some news that Embiid might not play. There was like a lot of that he might not play. It was a back-to-back. And that was out there that, hey, Embiid might not play. I don't know why that would be a discussion in the third game of the year on your home opener. I don't know how they let that get out that he might not play because, people might say, football, Sunday, it's late. It was a 7:30 game. The buzz was not as much. I've been to a lot of Sixers game. It did seem a little muted in the building.
I wonder if it was an Eagles home game, it would have been better. Like people could have all tailgated and then popped over.
I'll say this: the Eagles game ended. So I live down in Atlantic City area. We got right in the car when the game ended, drove up there, so no traffic at all. The building doesn't open. It was a 7:30 game. The guy said, unless your tickets are F or P, whatever that means, you can come in at they let those people in at 6 o'clock. If you had a regular ticket, you don't get in there till an hour. I said, Who makes that decision? Why wouldn't you want people walking around, patronizing, shopping, grabbing food, like we were in line at 5:30. I thought the place opened an hour and a half before the game started.
Or more than that.
I was
They may not have the people.
I said that they might not have the manpower to work it, but that being said, only an hour. So we ended up going over to the Cure Auto bar there, and they were open, so you can go sit in there. But still, so I went to the Sixer game, and Embiid was unbelievable. I said, think about this. There was discussion that they were going to load manage him last night. The man had like 35 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 steals, and 6 blocks. He played 3 quarters. You're telling me he needed rest last night? There was consideration that man needed rest last night. And that was the stat line he put up. This is a joke. The NBA is a absolute clown show with these guys resting. Jimmy Butler rested the other night. You've played 3 games. You've played 3. Actually, he played in 2. He rested in 1.
Mike is firing on all cylinders here
early. Mike. I couldn't.
I don't understand, Colin, how you as a professional athlete, and you're saying you don't understand, how a professional athlete has the inner pride to say, I am okay with not playing in this game tonight. Listen, you want to limit my minutes? To load manage a guy and just not play him at all is an atrocity to the fans. You want to say, listen, you're playing 22 minutes tonight. That's it. That's your load management. Load manage his minutes. Don't load manage his
29. Before you chime in, Colin, real quick. I know you're heated. I know you're ready to fire. Just stat line on Embiid last night. 29 minutes, 10 rebounds. No, I'm sorry, 15 total rebounds, 7 assists.
6 blocks.
And he dropped
35
points. 35, 15, and 7 in 29 minutes.
6 blocks, Mick. 6 blocks.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the guy's unreal. Listen, I don't want to – I'm not going to take this take of this football guy and – because in football, like they changed the sports science changing everything. Like before you come in, kill yourself on Monday, off Tuesday, kill yourself on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, kill yourself meaning physical practices, heavy lifts. Like they've changed it now where Wednesday is another walkthrough day or a jog through. Thursday's your heaviest practice of the week. Some days are weird. Now some teams practice before games the day before, which is unheard of in sports. But they give you off 48 hours before because they say, a world-class sprinter, they actually sprint the day before they race because it gets their legs going. I digress. Sports science has taken over the world a lot of bit. And I think it has to do with now, if you're not doing it, you're not keeping up competitive advantage-wise. So now if you're not sitting Jimmy, then someone across the league sitting. And when you get to that point, when Jimmy's in his 30s, lots of tread on the tire, something's going to happen. The rubber's going to meet the road sometimes. So this is a competitive advantage there. If you're not sitting, you're hurting yourself.
This is a bone of contention, and it's an interesting development, and obviously, Colin, you do know more, but like even just look at like Bryce Harper, in the clubhouse, drinking a bottle of champagne. If you've seen his back, he's got those suction cups, like all over his back, cupping. Like that's a big deal, man. People do that more regularly than you've ever seen before.
Guys, Colin, I think every fan totally understands. Like, we understand what you're saying. Like, you don't play, you rest, your body's better, blah, 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 blah. You don't see a hockey player not playing. Those guys, you're telling me that it's not more rigorous to play hockey every single night, to put that equipment on, off, skate up, back, down, all around, practice all the time, and they can play 82 games. A baseball player, you mentioned Bryce Harper. He didn't play the whole year this year because he had Tommy John, but throw Kyle Schwarber or throw anybody else out there. They play 150 days every single day. They don't get load managed. They might take a day off.
It's a great point.
Players in the past played every game. So we've already seen the greats of all time make it through. And so it's hard to tell us this is helping us when we've already seen players that we perceive to be better than you, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley. They didn't load manage and take a day off. By the way, many of the great players don't take days off. It's like, hey, we're going to randomly select Jimmy Butler, who's a great player, by the way. He ain't Michael Jordan, right?
Everything's science-based. And I know that this is going to be a boring argument. I'm trying to help you, like, people understand it. And it's not understand of rest and recovery and all this thing. It's And I agree with it. I'm not a day off guy, right? That's not my world. This is a basketball world. We're seeing it now because these stars run the league, right? So if a star sits out for load management, Jimmy, Johnny, Joe, we brought him to the game to go see this star play, and he's not playing, right? That's the argument. We've seen it with Jordan and Barkley, but no one rested in that era. My point is people are resting in this era because what matters? The summertime, not the grind of a regular season. So if I can get my guys through the regular season and get them to the playoffs, that's what matters. Yeah. Football, you have a week between games. The NHL, you're not seeing as much resting. You're seeing limited minutes because that's an old school, like Canadian mentality. But in our American culture and the NBA and the science, like we have a chip in the back of our jerseys that shows everything you do, everything.
Yeah.
How many miles you ran, how much sprinting you've done. And then like you literally come in the morning, you fill out a questionnaire of how much sleep you got, how you're feeling today, what hurts. And then boom, it spits out a program for you. And then they get the information back. And then the sports science team, boom, puts it back out and says, hey, this guy practiced today. There's a 30% more probability of this because of his player load and the sleep he got. So I know it's boring. I don't agree with it, but I get why they're doing it. And it's not because of the old days. It's because now everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
No, you gotta keep up.
I understand the why. I understand why they do it. I'm just questioning, is it necessary to the means that they're doing it? You're saying, see, to me, you are cheapening the summer by sitting. This is supposed to be the battle of attrition, the grind of the 82-game season. Who is better? Who took better care of themselves to play all 82 and then make it all the way to the finals? And by saying, well, you only played 70 because we sat you out 12 times, you kind of cheapened and went around the battle of attrition that you've taken out. This is an entertainment product, right? The NBA, Major League Baseball, you're filling up the calendar now with entertainment for 82 games, 162. When we get to the competition, the real competition, the entertainment part, you can't take out the top entertainer if you want me to take you seriously.
Especially if you want to put people in the seats. And I'll be quite honest with you guys. If you put a chip on my back, it would read that you're eating too much, you're drinking too much, and you're not getting enough sleep.
I'll tell you what, boy. You want to talk about not eating and drinking. This week. Oh. Good times down in Gainesville now. Where's our largest cocktail party? You got to participate in that, right? In Jacksonville.
Yeah. Number one team in the country. Were you on the field for that game, Colin?
I was not. I did not go to the game. We Ubered over, tailgated with some old friends, had a good time, and then went back to Jack's Beach where we were.
Yeah, tickets for the game would just not make it in?
No, I didn't plan on going.
That's a classic, So WVU played Rutgers one year. We all drive up to the game. We're all WVU. We're tailgating in the lot. The game starts. We all have tickets, and we said, we're staying out here, watch the game on TV.
Listen to the crowd. No, it was so much fun, man. I'll tell you what, I did that cheesesteak review, and I always give amazing, I think I give always a lot of stuff in the nines. If I think it's really good, I'm going to put it in the nines. I said it on the thing. I was stunned. What's it, A&LPs or whatever it is, DNLP.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. I was shocked, to the nth degree. No BS aside, I can't believe the roll was that good. I have no idea where they getting that from.
No, it's a great drop. I reached out to that guy. I forget his name, but yeah, born and raised in Wildwood, New Jersey. And, flocks down south to open up a little, sandwich shop. And dude, that is going on.
It's great research all over the country. Samboner, Mick.
It's going on all over the country. No, I have these dialogues with these people. I'm just curious. You decided to go down to Florida, open up a sandwich shop. Where are you from? Because Colin had dropped in the review, signs of Sea Isle, Avalon, or whatever, all over the decor showed South Jersey love. And that's just a beautiful thing. Colin, that other place I just sent to you in Virginia. And, shout out Samboner's DMV. We just got that thing cooking. But there's places all over the United States of just Philly transplants and people who decided to take that Philly culture, that sandwich love to another, part of the country and open up a sandwich shop. There's a million of them, man. It's awesome.
I think the best was Pat's Deli in Seattle. I've said it a million times, but this place jumped it. This place jumped it for me, and it wasn't even close.
You guys know Dino's in Margate?
I don't.
No, Mike, but your chip is reading that you're lacking that Samboning fever. So go ahead, continue.
Dino's in Margate is one of the classic sub shops here. White House, Sacco's, Dino's. They're all on the island. And they opened up a store down in Florida. The problem was you can't make the bread. You got to ship it down there. So I guess it was too much for them to keep flying the bread down there. They ended up not doing, closing down. I forget what part of Florida they were in, but people have tried from up here to open the sandwich shops down in Florida. They just can't do the bread because of the water is different.
No, you're absolutely right. And we had a good dialogue with Danny from Angelo's about this. And then I actually brought on the vice president of water engineering from Aqua America. We had a nice dialogue about this as well. Lee's Hoagie House. I remember talking to that guy. We were at the gym together, LA Fitness. Brad Waxman, shout out to Brad. He opened up 2 Lee's Hoagies, one in right by the Miami University campus because his son was going to go there, and then one in like South Carolina. And his whole concept was to ship the rolls down practically half cooked and frozen. It crashed. I think it crashed and burned. I don't want to kind of dig into it too far, but
Danny said it can be done. He said, I can make it.
He's full of shit. Honestly, he's wrong, dude. It's all about the water. It's all about
whatever
the
they
water.
just made there, whatever that was down in DNLP's would be just as good as any roll you've had in Philly, other than maybe the top 3, right?
Really?
Well, listen.
I'm telling you.
No way.
I'm telling you, like, if you ever go to Phillies,
you trust then. Somebody there because you don't trust me. Go try it. Anybody who lives in the Jacksonville Beach area who's sick of shit from Mick like I do,
go get the
freaking cheesesteak there in the hoagie.
What's the name of the place? What's the name of the place?
Trust anybody.
DNLP's.
Now listen. I
think it is.
If you go to Phillies spring training during the month, they will fly the bread back for the cheesesteaks there. So for that month, when you're going to games there, they do have the rolls coming in from Philly. I forget the name of the provider inside. The name will come to me in a second, but they do fly them down there. So I don't know why this place would pick this weekend to do it, but there are places that do get the bread flown in there.
Yeah, no, I'll have to ask my good friend Pete. Actually, a good little segue. Pete's famous pizza, Pete's Cheesesteaks, proud supporter of the Samboner show. He's franchising his restaurant right now. He has 3 locations. He's looking to kind of peel off. He leans on Sarcones, but I'm going to ask him that question. Like in the event where, you want to go into like Jersey. Well, Jersey's, I think, an easier market for us as well. But if he wants to go down south, how is he going to protect that brand in terms of being able to deliver a consistent product? So it's always a interesting topic, and there's a reason why they call this the Samboner Hood. There's a reason why Philadelphia is the sandwich capital of the world. Another shout out to our good friends, the Original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge all over the country. Looks like Colin's going to be delivering some fudge on Sunday. Look forward to Samboning some of that chocolate fudge from Original Fudge Kitchen. Appreciate all the love and support. We are Samboning here. It is Cheesesteak Month. Mike Gill is in the house. Colin Thompson is in the house. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Look, fellas, I gotta.
By the way, it's Delco's Cheesesteaks down in at Phillies Bright House Networks Field. Delco's Cheesesteaks is what you get there. They got the rolls. They fly them in.
Wow.
There you go. Shout out to Delco's Cheesesteaks. Is it Delco Steaks, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we had those guys on the show as well. They're great dudes. Great dudes. All right, look, I didn't want to do this. I really didn't. But I have to do it because, we spent the last 7-8 Mondays dissecting the Phillies, talking about the Phillies, rooting our beloved Phillies on. This can take 3 minutes for all I care. But we were dying together, and I want to put it to rest right now. Mike, give us your final, just like let it all out. What the fuck happened to our Philadelphia fighting Phillies?
Well, I think a couple of weeks ago we would say they were historically hot, and it was all like, this is unbelievable, all the home runs. Well, it was historically not. 1 for 28 from your paid guys. I mean, Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Castellanos, those guys went 1 for 28. Can't win like that. Every other decision to me is micro, way behind. You go 1 for 28 with 2 $300 million guys and $200 million guys, you probably aren't winning that series. A couple decisions, the Kimbrel thing, but you had 2 chances at home. So the Kimbrel thing, it puts you in a position to have to win 2 at home. You had 2 at home with a payroll that you have. Those guys didn't come to play. Arizona still feisty, still fighting, and they wanted it more. To me, I thought the Phillies looked a little tight, looked a little bit like the moment, which is surprising since you're in the World Series last year and everything was loosey-goosey up to that point, and it looked like the moment was a little too big for the Turner, Harper, Schwarber, especially Castellanos contingent, and that's it. I mean, you could look at why did they hit for that guy? Why did they switch the lineup up? They should have done this. No, those 4 guys, to me, stand out as to why you're not playing tonight.
Mike's the baseball guy, man. I mean, there's nothing I'm going to say here that's going to help Mike. But, I mean, the fans did their part. The place was rocking. I credit Arizona because, listen, it's not an easy team to go against this Philly team now. Like, we're crowning them as one of the greatest teams in the history of Phillies, which they still are and were. They're in the right. They're up there. They didn't win it, but they're up there. They have these amazing players. They have the hottest team in baseball, and it's not even really remotely close. It looks like batting practice half the time. And then I credit the Diamondbacks' toughness to just turn the faucet off. Like, I played great teams in football, man. And when the teams are hot, like, it's hard to turn the faucet off on that team. And Arizona did it.
You know what? Yeah, there's no argument, and everybody's has their right to their opinion.
Well,
and,
like for instance, real quick, Mick, one on my show, a lot of people brought up. You got to change the lineup. Who were you hitting? Where were you changing the lineup? There was really like Bone. It was the one guy in Game 7 hit a home run, and then he got on base and ended up scoring when Stott doubled him. People wanted to move Bone. He was the only guy that showed up in Game 7. He didn't have a great playoff, by the way. I'm just throwing that. But people like put JT there, put Casty there. Castellanos was awful. JT Real Muto, let me tell you, he wasn't getting Harper any pitch to hit. And by the way, in Game 7, Harper didn't have one. He had 2 pitches, fastballs right down the middle. He stared at one, and then the next one he missed. So he had pitches to hit. He didn't hit them. So moving the lineup around wasn't doing anything for this team. That's moving stuff just to move stuff. Why not?
Isn't it just for me, it's mind-boggling. And I vented about this on my Friday episode or my Thursday episode last week. You know, taking Game 1 and 2 like you should in Philly. Go out to Arizona, great. You lose Game 3, no big deal. Then you have a 5-2 lead in Game 4, getting ready to take a 3-1 lead. You blow that lead, like right there. That's the game changer for me. But then you bounce back in Game 5 and just blow the doors off them. And then here you go, Mike. To your point, the 1 for 28 comment. I happen to have an opportunity to take my son down to a potential Game 6 clincher at Citizens Bank Park, and Nick Castellanos is swinging a bat like I can't explain to you. Like watching his at bats and what must have been going through his head. He looked lost. Yep. Like, so help me understand. Like, is it like just a plug? Is it just get unplugged? Like, is it a mental block? Like that? It's just over.
I don't know if Colin, you might know Dave Gallagher. He lives down in Cape May. He played in the base majors for 9 years. He's a guest on my show a lot. And we talked about that. He said, sometimes you just absolutely get unplugged. You lose it. You just go through these mental highs and lows of like, when you're hot, you're locked in. And then that one at bat might kind of knock you off. And then it kind of reprograms you. And then you can't. All you're doing is trying to think about how do I get my mental frame back to where I was.
Even Harper, his discipline in Game 6, the swings that he was like, there was no discipline. It was like you're a walking machine, and then all of a sudden now you're swinging at balls in the dirt.
The lack of plate discipline and seeing the pitches. Castellanos is getting a slider that's just going away from him, a sweeper, whatever they're calling it these days. He got a dose of sweeper after he hit all those home runs, and he could not recognize the pitch. You got to see that pitch coming out of a guy's hand. You could see it generally right away. I could see spin. I'm laying off. As soon as that ball snaps out of his hand, bang, right here, I'm off. I'm not swinging at that. And if he throws it for a strike, God bless him. But he's not throwing that pitch to be a strike. He's throwing that pitch to do what exactly it does, sweep out of the zone and hope that you think you see fastball. His delivery, and this is the whole thing. How does a pitcher, Kimbrel, lose his command? If you're watching the video, if my hand's here or here, that's the difference. If your release point's here or here, That's the difference in a strike or a ball or a tight slider or a slider that sweeps out. And you're hoping as the batter that I'm noticing the pitch being delivered here or down low a little bit more. And if it's down low a little bit more, that's not coming in as a strike. I got to get off. It's such a mind. Like, think about playing golf. And that first time you jump on the tee, you rip one. And all day you're saying, I got it today. But you got to be so locked in on every single shot. And if you're not locked in on one shot, you slice it and your whole day's down the toilet. That's every single pitch for a hitter. And that's the greats against guys that are just whatever.
Same as a foul shot. It's a routine.
It is. It is.
Mike Gill, man, you can't pay for that type. I mean, he's talking arm angles. It's gonna be a sweet little social clip there, Mike.
Yeah, no, and I think it's just that had to happen. And I'm glad we could.
What's the?
I still am getting it off my chest. I'm still recovering from this absolute collapse of what we. Oh my God, what we
What's
witnessed,
the fix, Mike? What's the fix? Like, if I'm the GM, like, I couldn't have built a better team.
Yeah, hard, man. Here's we talked a lot about this. This is it's like a poker game right now. You only got so many outs, okay? If you let Nola walk, the free agent class, there's nobody as good if or better or Nola. If you like Blake Snell, great. If Nola gets a 6, 7, 8 year contract from another team, he's walking. They're not signing him for that deal. Who replaces him? So now you're looking at, is my staff better than it was last year? No. If I let Nola walk, your staff is not as good. Now my lineup is essentially the same. I have every single guy in the field. They're all signed. No free. Last year you lost Segura. You signed Trey Turner to replace him. This year, no free agent walking. None. 0. The only problem is Hoskins is a free agent. You can bring him back. They lack what he has, a right-handed power bat that can hit in the middle of the lineup. They don't have that. Problem is, he only plays first base. So I don't like this. Dombrowski said the other day, they're going to sit down with Harper and ask what he wants to do. So now Harper essentially has Hoskins' future in the palm of his hand. Well, I want to play first base still. Okay, then we can't bring Hoskins back. Well, I don't want to play the outfield. Well, then we can't bring Hoskins back. Anything short of Harper saying, I'll go back to the outfield means Hoskins gone. And if you don't bring back Hoskins, you're bringing back the same team. So now Harper might have to do something he really doesn't want to have to do to help improve this team. And that's probably a negative too, right?
Yeah, interesting.
No, you need him on the field for sure.
Yeah. No, I think you bring back Reese because you're going to get him at a big discounted rate.
Right. See, now the other thing is, if Harper goes to the outfield, does he go play right field? And now you put Castellanos in left field after he just played right field for 2 years. Average, but he finally started to play a decent right field. Now you're going to say, hey, you're going to go play left. Or you're going to say, Bryce, you haven't played left field in a while, but we want you to go play left field now. Now your outfield defense is suffering a little bit because you got Harper back out.
And this is, I'm having glimpses of like that 07, 08, 09 run where we got to the World Series, won in 08, got to the World Series again in 09, didn't win. In this particular case, 22-23. And then now what? Like, can we continue to have this stature? Can we continue to stay in this echelon? What?
And in what you just said, Mick, here's one more addition to that all. That team in 11 lost to an 85-win Cardinals team, and we never saw them again. Why? Howard got hurt. Utley got hurt.
Yeah.
They all start. And right now, Harper, Turner, Castellanos, Schwarber, JT Realmuto, Wheeler, they're all on the wrong side of 30. At what point does one or two of those guys start to just take a little tick down? Not a big tick, maybe just a little tick. And as a little tick enough, you only won 87 games this year. It's not like you were a 110-win team that Phillies team. So this is a team right now that's teetering on, do we try with this group one more time, or do we have to make some tweaks? I think it's a pretty big offseason for this team in terms of the leg. Because keep in mind, Harper ain't going anywhere. Not that we're asking him to. Turner, not going anywhere. Castellanos, 3 more years at $20 million per. You're going to try. Is somebody going to want to trade for that contract? I know if I'm a GM, I don't want it. You got Schwarber still signed. JT Realmuto, best catcher in baseball. When you sign that deal, Now, a couple years down the pipeline, is he still producing at the same? These are all things that this team is right on the seesaw right now.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right, and it will be one of those interesting off seasons to monitor, and it's just going to continue to sting, right? This is a tough one to kind of overcome, really. When you just think that it all just looked too good, and it was we were right in the driver's seat, and we let it slip away. What are you going to do? All right. How do we move on from this? How do we move on? Do we talk about Halloween candy? Do we talk about Halloween memories? What do we do? Let's just get this shit off our brains already.
The Eagles won yesterday. Was Philly
media?
The
Eagles won. Here we go.
Were Eagles fans and media freaking out? The sky's falling, or I was traveling. I didn't get there. I rewatched the game this morning, and I watched a good part of it yesterday, but I was traveling to the beginning part of it. Is the sky falling in Philly again on the radio, or what's going on?
No. Look, man. I'll jump in here. The fact that we won that game yesterday, coming off of 2 turnovers inside the 3-yard line, and still take a W. Like, we were up 14 right there at the end of that game. Like, that just goes to show you that Washington is not a good football team. To be able to have the Philly Eagles turn the ball over twice inside the 3 and still walk away with a loss. But no, man, I think that's a good sign, right? We're 7-1. I don't want to sit here and continue to use the theme a win's a win, but dude, Jalen Hurts looked really good outside of a couple key mistakes. I'm not sure what the situation is with Gainwell back there as the showcase running back. I think we have a little bit of a situation on our hands. Like, will Howie pull a trigger and bring in another running back? I'm a little lost there, but dude, at the end of the day, man, it's a good football team. It's another good football win, and we're 7-1. 7-1.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Washington gives them problems all the time for whatever reason. Washington, right. 40 sacks. Hal's on pace to get sacked 80 times this year. They didn't sack him till like the last series of the game yesterday. Why does that happen in a game where their offensive line is obviously a problem? Your defensive line is obviously your strength. They give up sacks all the time. You sack the quarterback. And, of course, you can't get a sack in the game. Now, they had some pressure, but the guy threw for over 400 yards in the game. Sam Howell, almost 400.
How about that?
Right, exactly. So I saw a podcast with Shannon Sharp today talking to Ocho Cinco. Interesting pair, by the way.
They're funny. They're good.
What does Dallas, Dak, and CD? They're licking their chops thinking about this Eagles secondary. Sam Howell throws for 400 yards. I said, what did Tyreek Hill and Tua see from this secondary? You had lesser players in the secondary when you played Miami, or can perceive lesser players anyway, and shut them down. So, I think it's just for whatever reason, Bieniemy has a good game plan against your defense and has figured out ways to kind of go at this, John Gannon, Sean Desai style of defense. And, I think to me, that's more of the matchup there, more so than I'm concerned that Dallas has had their success against you too. That was with Kellen Moore calling plays. There's a lot different offense with Mike McCarthy calling plays as they get ready for Dallas this week. But Kevin Byard played every single snap. I'm assuming there's some communication breakdowns there.
Absolutely.
So him in the second week should be better. But it's definitely one of those games you scratch your head at, Colin, right? I mean, if you're on the Eagles and you're sitting in the film room today, are you guys getting yelled at? Are you getting blasted like, yo, how are we? Or are they just, hey, we got through a game?
I think Washington's better than people think. I say it every time. Like, their D-line's nasty, probably best in the league, other than Philly. Absolutely loaded, right? But the outside world and the media tells everybody that, you're not supposed to like this team. I like both their running backs. I think Hal's feisty and fun to watch. They got great wideouts, and they got a big tight end in Logan Thomas. So, like, I see what everybody's saying of like, it's Washington. Should beat them by 50. But it's like, I like their weapons. And they were chipping the hell out of the defensive ends. They were, McLaurin on the left side there, that throw by Hal, that's insane. That
was a game. That was one of his best games of the year.
Well, the last time he played against the Eagles, he played a near flawless game. My question for you, Colin, is if you're watching that up front, why does Washington have so many breakdowns on the offensive line against lesser? And then the 2 games against the Eagles, they seemingly are like, what are you talking about? We have our offensive line struggles.
Yeah, I don't know that answer. I'll say this, though. you got to watch those games to know, because numbers don't always tell the truth, right? Like if the sacks are high against other teams, maybe something happened earlier in the game for them to get down and they're dropping back to pass every play. But that's a good, when the games are close like that, defenses can't predict what's going on as much, right? Like they can't. You can't just pin your ears back when it's just when you're down 7 or you're up 7. This could be a run here. So again, you got to go back and look at the tape. But I like Washington. I like their team. I think they have great skill. They have great edge guys. I know Sweat's on the trading block, I guess. That guy is a problem.
You never know what you're going to get to. I mean, the NFL is unpredictable, as we always talk about, and that's a divisional game. So you expect it to be competitive. Yeah, I'm just still blown away by the fact that we turned the ball over twice inside the 3 and came away with a W. And yeah, no disrespect to the Washington Commanders. They probably are a better football team than I think. But
I agree with you, man. I like Washington. In fact, I do a segment called Who's In, Who's Out at the beginning of the year. I had Washington in. I like Hal more than most do. And you're right. They do have weapons. Their problem is their offensive line. From week to week, they get their guy killed. I mean, he's on pace to get sacked 80 times entering the game. That's unsustainable to win football games. But they got studs on defense. I like the receiving core. McLaurin always seems to kill the Eagles. Samuel's a nice player. The 2 backs. Robinson's a big dude. Their problem is the offensive line. And for that offensive line, if they stand up, they are competitive enough to beat you, as we saw last year, as we saw a couple weeks ago at the Link. They probably should have won that game. And, that's the interesting part about them is that's how important an offensive line is. If they have a good offensive line, they're probably reverse record.
Oh, no doubt about it. Without a good offensive line, you're going nowhere.
Later in the game there, another coaching thing at the end of the game that I just disagree with Nick Sirianni, and I have a ton of respect for him. But when they went tush push, right, and they ran the reverse off of it or whatever they did, and hand the ball off. Swift get the sweep, right? Swift gets that first down. He should go down, knee the game. Game's over. Game's over. Mm-hmm. It's 1:30 left. They didn't need to score. Like, coaches are telling the quarterback, like, first down, get down. Everybody has a different term for it. So the quarterback comes into play and says, hey, it's first down, get down, tush push, sweep left. Guys, first down, get down. Get the first down, get down. They score. Washington marches down the field again and scores. And then Colin, they go like
you're forgetting the fact that the point spread was 7.
It was 7. They were already up 7.
I know.
Was it 7 or was it 6.5?
Yeah, I'm sure it was 6.5, 7.5.
What book you were on, I guess.
Yeah, they were up 7. Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, who knows? But no, that was another thing. I was like, man, why isn't he getting down here? Like after I went and watched the tape today, I'm like, that's get down, man. Game's over. And I love the touchdown. You have to go up 2 scores, but
I agree with something you said though, Mick. The whole Gainwell, that experiment has to move on. I mean, he is not. They need a guy that can finish the game out. Like
they have him, DeAndre Swift. They got him. He's trucking people.
He did run that dude over, but the problem with Swift is, I mean, we're talking about load management all the way back at the beginning is he's over his carries. He has more carries now than he had all of last year. One of the problems with Swift has been keeping him healthy. Yeah. So they need a guy who can wear down that defense in the fourth quarter, much like the LeGarrette Blount did back when they got Jay Ajayi. I mean, to me, you might say it's Swift. They're not agreeing with you. They're giving the ball to Gainwell, and Gainwell fumbles, and then he's on his phone at halftime on the ice.
Don't even get me started with that. That's crazy. Was that real?
I don't know, man. It
Here's
looked
the
real.
problem, too. Like, you know what? Look, we can break down games till cows come home, and we all love and enjoy handicapping and just, taking a look at these games and kind of just thinking what the outlook's going to look like. But at the end of the day, nobody knows. Nobody is sitting down on their couch, cracking open a beer at 1:00 and expecting Gainwell to be the featured running back in the first half of that game. And, the fan base has an argument there. Like, what is going on? Like, why would I ever bet the Eagles -7 if he was going to be the lead running back? They want Swift back there. And why does nobody know that going into the game?
I want to know why Rashad Penny was signed and now inactive. I said before the season, look, and I could be wrong. I'm not saying because I said it, it's right. If he's healthy, The man averaged 6 yards a carry last year, the year before. The problem is he's never healthy. You've delivered him to the season healthy. What happened? Because that's a big dude. That's a bad dude. Why not?
Yeah, he's a good red zone guy. Colin, he played for Seattle. He's a good red zone guy. He's the guy you want to give the ball inside the 10.
Yeah, I was excited about him. I don't know there. There must be something on special teams there because there's more to it. It's not just better running back. He may struggle with the playbook. I'm not saying he is. I don't know, and that's not fact. He may struggle with the playbook. He may have a little nick in injury here and there. He may, not be playing on punt and kickoff and all these different special teams. He may not be bought into the special teams role either because you're the third running back. You're the second running back. You're playing on special teams. So I don't know. And all those are just speculation.
No, that's a lot of the things you hear. Look, because Boston Scott, Gainwell, and Swift, they're all almost repetitive style of backs. They're kind of smaller, catch the ball, quickness. You got three.
Gainwell can catch the ball well. They both can, all three of them catch the ball well.
You have three backs who all kind of do the same thing. Yeah. They need a back who's different from those other guys. I don't care.
Leonard Fournette's a free agent. I mean, there's someone there, and I know Lenny's in shape. We'll see what they do. He would be like Garrett Blunt type thing.
I wrote an article about him. I wrote an article that the Eagles need to kick the tires on a guy like Fournette, or there was some people talking about Derrick Henry. It looks like he's not getting traded, but exactly. When they won the Super Bowl, they traded for Ajayi, and people were like, "Where did this come from?" And that was Howie saying, "We need a guy to finish this game out." Blunt, you're going to take that role, and Ajayi, you're going to get the first 3 quarters to have some fun. And that was the formula. Do you replay that formula?
You know what's crazy about Howie is? You know he's going to do something.
Oh, yeah.
What's he going to do?
Yeah. No, it's the running back position in general is interesting. Like, it's not it's obviously a key component. And we talk about the offensive line, defensive line. Defense wins championships. But, like, if you could tell me if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, you could tell me who the starting running back is for this team, I'd say you got a better read on this team than I do, because I think it's to be determined, honestly.
That's DeAndre. It shows off the tape. He's the most complete back they have. The way he plays, the way he carries the ball, his toughness and tenacity, the way he wants it. The guy's pissed when he gets up every time and he gets 7 yards. Pissed that he didn't break it. I think he's bigger than all of them too. So I think it's DeAndre. They got a bunch of guys. We'll see what Penny does. There's a reason why, though. It's not the coaches aren't like, we don't like this guy. It doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in pro sports.
We'll see.
There is a certain reason why he's not playing, and I don't know what the answer is.
Big game by Nakobe Dean on defense. He was all over the field. I mean, at the end of the day, that secondary has to develop more chemistry, especially with the newer acquisitions, because those receivers were wide open. But other than that, I think Nick Sirianni's takeaway, he's laid back, man. He's just a down-to-earth dude. We got to tighten up. We got to get better. We got to continue to improve. But, dude, that's a fucking football team. They continue to play winning football. And that's, at the end of the day, what it's all about. You know what else is what it's all about is Halloween week is here. Time to break out your pillowcases, Samboners. What do we say we rank some candy, some Halloween candy? What are your favorites, Mike? Give us your top 5 Halloween candy on this beautiful Halloween week with no Phillies baseball.
Well, I mean, number one, far and away, is when you go to someone's house and they have the Reese's peanut butter cup. I mean, that's definitely number one. You can't, right? If I had a pillowcase full with all orange at the end of the night, I'm a winner. There is no number.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, there is no number 2.
Well, that's your number 1? Reese's cup is your number 1. Oh, I thought that was your 5 because I have it down as number 5.
No way. There's no number 2. I just said that. It's number 1 and there's no number 2.
Dude. I love it, Mike. The times have changed. They have.
Well, I'm 46. I haven't been trick-or-treating for 30 years.
Ross Tucker had a reel about it over the weekend, man. Take 5 is the one spot for sure.
Wow.
Take 5. I don't even know what that is.
My top 5 will go 5 through 1.
Go ahead.
They're all under the same pretty much tree here.
Yep.
The good old-fashioned full-size Hershey bar at 5. Full size. Okay. Pretzel M&Ms at 4. At 3, if you haven't had these yet, don't do it.
Peanut M&Ms.
peanut butter and an M&Ms. If you let me finish, please, Mick. Number 2, peanut M&Ms. Number 1, the GOAT, the Reese's Cup. Shout out to Mike Gill. I love it, Mike. That's mine. But I'm telling you, folks, the peanut butter M&Ms.
Well, now they have the Reese's white, the white ghost one that could go in the mix because it's in the same family. The Reese's peanut butter, the little, the kin to the M&M. What are they called? The Reese's Pieces would be in chocolate peanut butter. That's my bag, man.
What do you got, Mick? Top 5, baby. Lay it on a stick.
I'll just reel it off. I'll go Reese's Cup at 5, Reese's Pieces at 4, Butterfinger at 3.
I love a Butterfinger. Butterfinger's in the mix.
100 grand bar. Shout out to 100 grand at 2. I'm telling you, dude, the new age Reese's is the take 5. It's the caramel. It's the hard pretzel. It's the peanut butter. The whole mixture together.
Yeah.
You throw a couple take 5s on a nice, vanilla bean ice cream. You're in serious business. But dude, shout out, think about back in the day. It's funny. Back in the day, we didn't get the take 5. So the Reese's is the GOAT. But remember, you would show up to people's doors. We would trick or treat at Dorchester Apartments, where you could knock on 8 doors at once. Boom, 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 boom. Then go up to the second floor, hit the other 4 doors. People would hand out pennies or pretzel sticks. What are some of the craziest things that you've ever gotten when you were out trick or treating?
You get the guy or the family who goes apple, right? They give you the apple. Yeah. They don't want the teeth to go bad, so they go apple for you.
Man, I don't even remember. Over the years,
definitely in the mix. The candy corn is candy corn is terrible. That's just a bobo. I mean, come on, I don't want candy corn. That's what my mom throws in the house just to say we have something in the house to offer somebody. But if I'm going to your door and you hand me candy corn in a little bag like this, thrown right out, going. By the way, Butterfinger, big shout out. That would probably be 3 on my list. Whatchamacallit would be on the list at number 4, and number 5 would be a strong Heath bar. When I go to get a Blizzard at Dairy Queen, I go Butterfinger with the Heath bar.
Oh wow,
dude! I go Butterfinger, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Sometimes I go Peanut Butter Cup, but a lot of times I'll go Heath bar. I like that toffee taste right there. But yeah,
you like a Score bar too? A good old Score bar.
I don't know that I'm familiar with the
That's
Score.
A toffee, chocolate covered toffee, man.
Have you guys seen any of the? I think it's History Channel. They play the food that built America. You seen those shows?
Some of those, yeah.
Really cool. And they get into how competitive making chocolate bars were and Milton Hershey. But yeah, shout out to Hershey, man. Hershey. Maybe we should do that as a.
We need to go to Hershey Park and do a show from there and just.
Yeah, Mick, our location episode. We got Doylestown coming up here this week or next at this juncture, and then we got to do a little Hershey, PA, maybe, Mick.
Yeah, we got to do Hershey, PA. We got to do Northeast Philly. There's a lot of good, food centralized areas. We're wrapping up Cheesesteak Month. The final day. Wait, today's the 30th, right?
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow's the 31st. So tomorrow's Halloween, final day of Cheesesteak Month. We're moving right into high gear, hot roast pork month. My cousin Kelly pretty much kicked it off yesterday from the Reading Terminal.
Pork. That's a strong month right there,
dude. Bro. That's a Philly staple. You got the cheesesteak, you got the hoagie, and you got the hot pork Italiano, man. Shout out to the Knicks.
Where should I go in South Philly? Because we're going to be there. I'll be up there Saturday for Temple Navy, and then I'll be there Sunday for Philly Temple Cowboys.
John, have you ever had John's roast pork?
I have. Very good.
Whoa! Saturday you're going to Temple Navy?
I am, Mike.
Oh, maybe I'll come up there.
Mike, you got to come to the event. Do it on Sunday.
I'm thinking about it. My girlfriend. She's going away Saturday. I got to drive her to the airport Saturday morning.
That's tough. Back-to-back days in Philly, but we'd like you to come to the event. Now, Mick, other than John roast pork, has got to be.
Do I need a ticket for the Eagles game to go to that event? By the way,
you do not. You just come up, hang out.
There's a ton of places, man. There's a ton of gems. Like this place. The last time we did hot roast pork month was the highlight was High Street. I think they changed locations. They were all on 3rd. Now they're on 11th. But High Street is unbelievable. They bake their own bread. There's a ton of hot roast pork spots in South Philly.
Dolores
is another spot, man. There's a million of them. Those corner gems.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's a good month. And again, it's another Philly staple. I said I was going to get back to the basics. After all the shenanigans in the summer, we went right into hoagies, we're into cheesesteaks, hot roast pork, and then December's a wild card, and we just throw it all up in the air.
By the way, you got to go Nick's roast beef.
Of course.
Nick's roast beef. Of course.
Well, the Knicks too, right? With the hot roast.
Yeah. The Knicks from Reading Terminal.
When's salad month? Do we have that month?
Dude, good question, Colin. I'm sitting here like feeling my love handles right now.
Did salad marks go out of
October month?
Nobody eats healthy anymore. Yeah, but no, the event is in high gear. Appreciate all the love and support. Everybody that has donated thus far. We're out there Sunday benefiting the Ronald McDonald House charity. It's just an unbelievable organization in itself, supporting families with kids who are struggling out there day in, day out. Look forward to just kind of rubbing shoulders with a bunch of new faces on Sunday. Shout out to everybody that has contributed. I'm just going to run this off real quick, guys. I got to get off my chest. Foods Galore, Lissio's Bakery, Sam's Italian Market, Pete's Famous Pizza, Cooper's Sharp Cheese. They sent me some fly hats yesterday. Gotta love it. Victory Brewing, Warwick Farm Brewing, Wissahickon Brewing, Two Moods, Stateside Vodka, Conshohocken Brewing, Vault Brewing, Workhorse Brewing, Conshohocken Brewing, Lucatelli's, the brew. Evil, dude. There is so much fucking love out there, especially when it comes to like the local breweries. And I've had an opportunity to just kind of, stop in, introduce myself. They were willing and able to contribute a couple cases, but then I just start talking to these guys like, there's like this mutual respect across all the local breweries here in Philly. I'm sure that the same case goes for South Jersey, Mike. And I know you're a big brewery lover, but like these guys are all in it together and there's room for growth. There's room for collaboration. So just, I can't say it enough. Just appreciate all the support and just the fact that all these local breweries are chiming in and contributing to the event. And then just, again, whoever, wants to continue to come down, support, donate. It's going to be a fun day. And I'm looking forward to it.
Damn right. I'll be there. Holding Not For Long media team will be there. A lot of us will be at least doing some great content, some fun stuff. Samboning. Got to do some Samboning on some high def cameras, Mick. Can't wait for that. Yeah. It's going to be fun, man. Eagles, Cowboys. That's it.
Eagles, Cowboys. I think right now we are -3 and the consensus is on the Birds, of course. Dallas looked good. Dallas looked good, man.
Dallas just looked good and blew somebody out. So they're
the Rams. I bet the Rams. Fucking mush.
Yeah, me too. I took the Rams.
On an important note, high is 67, partly cloudy next Sunday.
Yeah. Woo-hoo! Take a look. Take a bite.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait. Appreciate you having us, Mick, and the Samboner show, or Mike coming on our show, I guess, but it's Mick's show. It's just Mick, Samboner, Mick, man. Cheesesteak Month. The guy's a legend. Man.
I appreciate you guys. Always fun here in the Samboner hood, shaking down the weekend. Finish strong, Samboners. Cheesesteak Month, Halloween night tomorrow. Have fun with your kids. Samboner out.
Pop that Sambone, and baby, it's on. Dropping